Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Metal and Beer. Today I'm going to be trying the Space Dust IPA by Elysian Brewing. Now, when I say I'm going to be trying the Space Dust IPA, I've actually tried this several times. It's a very good beer, but I want to try it with you, and I really wanted to, to present this on my Metal and Beer show here because, man, this stuff is so awesome, but it's very unique in flavor as well, and I'm going to point out a few things to you. So let me open this up here. Now, I've also got a specific metal song I want to share with you after we do the beer tasting, and the funny thing is the song I'm going to share with you actually has the name Elysian in it, and of course by my shirt you may be able to tell what song I'm talking about, but hold that thought. Let's taste the beer first. Alright, so this is just a regular IPA, but it is a little higher in alcohol content than most IPAs. So the alcohol content on this, I have to look again because I forgot already, is 8.2%. But this is not considered an imperial IPA or double IPA, and I don't know what the qualifications are to get to that level, but it's still an IPA, but it is a little bit stronger than most normal IPAs. So let's give this a taste. Again, I've tasted this several times already. Man, you can smell the hoppy aroma. I mean, it kind of hits you when you get to about right here, boom. But it's a much different aroma that you're going to get with a lot of other IPAs and just other beers in general, of course. So let's taste. Yeah, that hits the spot. That is very good. It doesn't have that full-bodied heaviness to it like IPAs, with higher alcohol content. And I know 8.2 isn't terribly high. It's not like outrageous or anything like that. But again, it is a little higher than a lot of your typical IPAs, which usually range between 6% to 7.5, somewhere in that range. So 8.2 is a little bit up there on the higher scale. And normally with that higher scale, you start really kind of feeling that heaviness, but I don't really feel it with this beer. There's almost, I don't know if this will make sense, there's almost like a galactic sparkling sensation that you get when you taste this beer. It's definitely, you've got your IPAs, and all IPAs taste different, of course, in their own right. But there's also that fine thread of flavor throughout, different IPAs. Especially with like East Coast, they have this certain flavor, and then West Coast style, they have this certain thing. This almost stands on its own. As far as flavor goes. Now, there are 3 types of hops in the Space Dust IPA. There's the Chinook, and there's the Amarillo, and what was the third one? The Citra hops. So I haven't had too many beers with the Chinook hops, but it's apparently supposed to add a little bit more bitterness to your beer. Now, I have had Citra and Amarillo. Those are some pretty common hops in IPAs. But I think this Chinook is kind of what, takes it to that other level that makes it a little bit different from a lot of your other IPAs. I just like to read the back on the bottle here to you. Space Dust IPA, the hopping is pure Starglow energy with Chinook to bitter and late and dry additions of Citra and Amarillo. Okay, so we're adding these other types of hops in later, it seems like. Now, I'm not an expert on brewing beer, but I do know that you can add hops at different times. So sometimes folks will add one type of hops in the beginning, but then maybe 30 minutes later they'll add another type of hops, and then maybe 30 minutes after that they'll add another type of hops. So you can add hops at different times. So that's just really interesting to read on here that, you know, they tell you right out of the gate here that they have the late additions, and I'm assuming that they add those hops later in the process. I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but you know, I figured I'd share a little bit of my beer knowledge about hops. But this is a really awesome beer though. Now 8.2%, yeah, it's gonna sneak up on you if you have too many of them. I'd say about 3 of these and you're feeling pretty good. I think this is my last one, so I'll have to go get some more later. But yeah, again guys, this is Elysian Space Dust IPA by Elysian Brewing. And you know, I mentioned the whole galactic thing earlier, and I wasn't even thinking about the the artwork on here, but you can kind of see that, which makes more sense now. Cool artwork, by the way. Now for the metal music part of this video. So some of you already know the song, but remember I said the word Elysian, the name of this brewing company here, is part of the name of a metal song I wanted to present to you today and talk about briefly. And it is track number 5 off Megadeth's Youthnasia album. Elysian Brewing was started in 1996. This album came out in 1994. So I don't know if there's any kind of correlation there. Probably not. Because if you read more about the history of Elysian Brewing, the Elysian Fields, which I know is the name of this song on this album here, but Elysian Fields in the Seattle area was actually, you know, built kind of close to where they were making their beer. So I don't know the backstory, the complete backstory behind that. If some of you know that story, please leave that in the comments. But I just thought it was interesting. Another interesting thing is, look at the color of these two things, man. The greenish and the greenish here. And the kind of the purplish here, a little bit different there, but they just kind of match and go together. That's pretty cool, in my opinion. So the thing about this album here from Megadeth is it's just freaking amazing. Again, this was released in 1994, Youthnasia, and that was the time where kind of the Seattle and grunge sound was sort of taking over the rock and metal music world. And you know, bands that had really good guitar players that could play great guitar solos were kind of being shoved aside. They're like, well, no, that's too 80s sounding. So the thing about Megadeth though is they kept doing what they do best, and they kept writing and producing metal music. So I applaud them for that. And of course, they're still doing that today. So yeah, and Marty Friedman is actually on this album as well. I can't remember which album he parted from Megadeth, but he's on this album. So really awesome album. And again, Elysian Fields, track number 5, really awesome song here. Now, Elysian Fields, the song, or the title at least, that was part of Greek mythology. That was like the place where the gods would send heroes when they died to grant them immortality, which is kind of cool. So reading through Megadeth's lyrics here, you can kind of catch on to all that in the song here. But yeah, really awesome song, but just really awesome metal album, man. Just a solid metal album here overall. So guys, that is it for today's Metal and Beer. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you hit that little subscribe button. And there's another button you got to hit to get notifications or something like that. Just make sure you're getting my videos. Thank you so much for watching.